So what's up, everyone? So we're about to get into it. So I was trying to think about how I was going to describe the divine feminine, but um, the divine feminine, because her femininity has a lot to do with the harmony between her divine masculine. Okay, so the thing is that she could be a divine woman. It's going to be an energy that you see, but the personalities of divine feminines are very different. But you notice this very harmonized, this very stable. It's kind of like you see her masculinity more so than you see her femininity. And you may mistake it for femininity because she may come off very mature, very stern, very firm. Okay? So the divine woman has learned how to shield herself. It's a very dangerous world for a divine feminine because she is creative. She is the creator. The divine masculine, he's merged with his feminine too. But the thing is that he is masculine. He is a man. So he can wear his feminine energy. You understand what I'm saying? The divine feminine, she must wear her masculinity. Okay, so think of it like this, right? You know, we have this battle between the sexes with women, right? So, you know, women are favored. There are more women are favored who are more voluptuous and curvy than a woman who's not as voluptuous or curvy, right? So, when you have the favor of most, you don't know who's genuine. But when you don't have the favor of most, then it's kind of like you can see who's genuine, but at the same time, you can also see who's insecure, because a man may feel like, oh, I don't want a woman with all that because I don't want to have to deal with other men looking at her. You know, his insecurities may start winding up in his head. So he'll settle for a woman to where she doesn't get that much attention from other men. Okay? So it's kind of like, but the woman who's not sought after, you know, like the voluptuous woman, it's kind of like you have more of a chance of finding a man who loves you for you, because your body goes against the beauty standard. Even if a woman is overweight, you understand what I'm saying? She has a better chance at getting with somebody who actually loves her for her. Yes, they could be using her, thinking that her self-esteem is low and all this type of stuff because she's big. But that's not it. Like, don't think that deep into it. You know, it's about chance. It's about ratio. It's kind of like the less that you have, the more you'll be able to tell if somebody is for you, loves you. This is the way the divine feminine thinks. A lot of women want to be considered as a divine woman. You know, like, oh, you know, she looks her best all the time. She wears the makeup, she has the jewels and this and this and that. Divine feminine is not like that, because she has already learned, she has already been in the world. She has already been in that world. Just like the divine masculine has been that predator, she has been that prey. You see what I'm saying? So with her experiences and her soul evolution, she has learned how to smarten up. So the name of the game with this woman is strategy. Okay? And she's very tough. It's kind of like you only get one chance. She's going to be able to see you. She doesn't care about what she sees. She cares about how honest you are. She cares about how real you are, about how in depth she can be with you. how open you are, you know, as a man, as a woman, whatever. Can she get to the core of you? Are you willing to give her your core? To be vulnerable. It's kind of like the divine masculine. So I'm going to give you an example. Okay, so there was an individual, and he took an interest in me. You know, he was very handsome, extremely gorgeous. You know, and at this time, he was in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So we started off as friends. We were friends, but there was kind of this thing between us. You know what I mean? But you know, I knew not to cross boundaries. And I mean, I found out that this guy, he was dealing with a lot of insecurities. Okay? But he tried to act and behave like he was just so confident. And the thing is that I believed him, you know, because of how he looked. I'm just like, I know that some of the most beautiful people can be the most insecure. But he seems to be very level-headed. He seems to be very balanced. You know what I mean? He doesn't seem like he allows the attention to go to his head, like he's not a jerk, you know, because he's privileged in the field of women. So, come to find out, he was insecure, you know, because I kind of had questions about his woman, you know, because I'm just like, I start to see something in him, and I'm just like, I think that that's his woman. I think that his woman is really insecure about him. But if she's really insecure about him, then there's something about himself that he's insecure about too. And this is what I'm saying, because sometimes a man will date down. You know, one thing that I learned about men is that sometimes men care so much about what other people say, about what other people think, and they're thinking ahead. So when it comes to relationships and when it comes to love, it's not about the love. Okay, so sometimes these men can be very strategic. They go after a woman that a lot of men want, you know, and it's kind of like they may not even really fuck with that woman or like that woman, but that woman, they see that woman as a tool to use for their little dirty deeds. Because I've seen men use women that they don't even love, they don't even care about, as a weapon towards other women that they do try to fuck with, that they do like, but maybe the woman is not interested. And it's crazy because it's like the woman is not interested because you have a woman, you know. And it's kind of like the men will get upset, and it's like they'll try to use their woman to upset that other woman. But it's just like, that does not work, because obviously you have shown me that you're not happy in the first place. So now you're trying to sit up here and you're trying to make me feel some way about myself by trying to use her. You understand? The divine feminine has dealt with men just trying to break her down her whole life. Rather, that starts in her family, and it's masculinity. It's not men, because she may have grew up in a household with a single parent. Okay, so a single mom. So mom had to take on role of the provider. So mom had to step into her masculinity. Okay? If mom wasn't well balanced between her feminine and her masculinity, mom, 9 times out of 10, is going to be a unhealthy masculinity. So that divine feminine has grown up all her life with seeing unhealthy masculinity within women and within men. So you have to understand her perception, her knowing, her understanding of things are a lot different, because masculinity is war. So the masculine, you know, it's destructive. Like I said, it's war. It's the opposite of love. Okay? But that's unhealthy masculinity. Healthy masculinity, you know, they learn the art of love. They come from the art of war and alchemize it into the art of love. Okay? And that is what makes him divine when he evolves. The same thing goes for the feminine. But the thing is that the feminine has seen some terrible shit, both from masculinity. So when she has been in the world, she has noticed things from men and women. Okay? And I'm pretty sure for a long time she was dragged until she started to wake up and she started to grow from all of her challenges. It's usually a situation within her life to where it's kind of like somebody gets her so good. And when I say get her so good, they damage her. The divine feminine, what ends up happening before she opens the door to her divinity, it's like she's crucified. And once she dies, she's resurrected. So I compare this to, motherfuckers drown her. And when they drown her, she evolves into the mermaid. Mermaids are unique. Mermaids are one of a kind. It's very hard to get to a mermaid. A mermaid can also be seen as a siren. Mermaids are sirens. So she's going to have this siren energy about her. Okay, what is a siren? The siren is very intimidating. This is where she wears her masculinity. Okay? That is more so of her dark feminine energy. Okay? So, anyway, we're getting back to my experience. I forgot where the fuck I left off at, though. Okay, so we talking about this guy. Okay, so the thing is that she came to realize that, this man is more insecure than what she thought he was. He chose that woman because it's kind of like, it's just real complex. It's real complex with this man, the way in which that he thinks. And when you are insecure, everything is so very complex. Nothing is really simple. Nothing is really real. Nothing is transparent. Nothing is organic. Everything is so synthetic. Everything is so hidden. Everything is so fucking scary. You know what I'm saying? So, with this guy, I told him, I'm just like, I like you. I think that you're a great guy. But at the same time, it's like you chose that woman because you want to be the prize in the relationship. And I said, you date down because not only do you want to be the prize, but you don't want to have too much of a challenge with a woman who may get as much attention as you do. You try to shield yourself and you try to make it seem like, even though you look the way that you look, you are who you are. You try to make it seem like this shit happened a while ago. I forgot. It was just weird. It's like you're trying to make it seem like you're a better man than what you really are. Like, even though I look this way, because even with looking really good, it can come with a lot of issues too. The way he looked really good too. It's kind of like, a woman would be all over his ass and would be very jealous, by seeing him talk to another woman or by knowing that other women want him. Now, the thing is that he knows that. He just doesn't want to deal with that because that's who he is too. So he dates down. So, he's dating this woman and it's just like, it's so awkward between y'all. Y'all don't look like y'all fit. It looks like y'all are forcing it. So he tries to say, well, she's my friend. She's my best friend. It's like he's trying to make himself seem pure. But he's not pure. it's like his way of thinking is strategized. And I could see it because that is divine feminine energy. But the thing is that he's taken his strategy and he's using it to cover up his insecurities. When it comes to strategy, the divine feminine uses that as protection. He's protecting his ego. He's protecting people from seeing who he truly is and what is really going on with him. You see what I'm saying? So I could see all of that in him. And I'm just like, that is a representation of that woman that you're dealing with. Like I knew I won't tripping, because I'm just like, at first I was just like, okay, he's different, he's unique. He looks like the masses, but his mind is not that. When in all actuality, his mind is that, but he's trying to hide it. So, I like this dude. I didn't want to judge him. So, I just kind of confronted him about some things and he ran away. Okay, so then he ended up coming back. And when he ended up coming back, it's kind of like he had just turned into somebody that I didn't even notice. I mean, I liked him a little more because it seemed a little more authentic. It seemed a little more real. He seemed a little more real. Now the thing is that, I'm not saying that he was soft in the beginning, but when he came back, like I said, he was a little more real. So I guess he was upset that I confronted him about what I saw in him. So, he tried to call me a bitch. He tried to say that I was overstimulated. Hold on, because that shit hurt my feelings. The way that he tried to do it, because that's what I'm saying. He's trying to make himself seem like he's such a great man. I'm real and I'm very expressive. So I have a dirty mouth. So it's like he's trying to make himself seem like he's better than me and that he's on a higher pedestal than me, to the point to where it's kind of like, I'm not even going to call you a bitch. I'm going to say that you're overstimulated. And I was just like, well, for one, where the fuck did that come from? That shit hurt my feelings though. Because I had reached out to this man because I could feel he was trying to manifest me. From the beginning, it was so much push and pull. From the beginning, he should have just left me alone. But I feel like I made him feel like he wasn't good enough. But that's not what I told him. That's not what I said. I saw the truth. And I did not want to get caught in that. And he was not willing to admit the truth. So when I called him out on it, he just ran away. That's not signs of a divine man. So, he was trying to manifest me, right? We had agreed to be friends, but I felt him trying to manifest me. So I say to myself, I said, you know what? I said, he's learning how to manifest. And he's trying to manifest me. I don't want to be manifested when it comes to love. I want love to come to me. I want love to bear itself to me. I want love to be open. So I'm just like, I deal with this a lot. So men are always trying to manifest me because they want that mind control. And so I don't allow anybody to manifest me, but with him, I'm just like, I know that he's learning how to manifest. So I have to do something. So I reached out to him and I emailed him, because he's a relationship coach. Okay. And he's a really good one. He caught my attention because he said some of the realest shit. He says, a woman doesn't want to be hard. She's only hard because she feels like she has to be. And that shit just broke me down, because I'm just like, damn, I didn't even know a man could see that in a woman. I'm getting emotional. I just have to get it out. I have to let it out. I try not to cry, because bad shit happened to people when I cry. Hold on. Ooh, sorry. Okay. So I reached out to him, and I wanted to let him know that his manifestation worked. I should have just been straightforward. But what I did is that I emailed him, and I told him, because a lot of the things that he would say over time, when I would watch him, I feel like he was trying to downplay women who are in fucked up situations by lifting himself up. It's kind of like he was trying to make it seem like, yeah, I'm a great man. I'm the type of man that you would want. You know what I'm saying? But you're not good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? And, a divine woman can pick up on so much shit. That's why people don't get away when it comes to dealing with her. And that's why when it comes to divine men and women, when you get cut off, you get cut the fuck off. And this story is a story of why. Because if you let somebody linger and fester, all they're going to want to do is play with you. So, I'm going to tell you before I email him, because I was watching his videos. And I'm just like, it feels like he's trying to look down on me. It's like he's trying to father me. You know what I mean? Like, in a way, trying to insinuate that I have daddy issues. And trying to make it seem like I can't see who he is. But it's like, you already know that I see who you are, because we talked about it before. I guess he couldn't let it go, and he was very resentful. In some way, shape, or form, I made him feel like he wasn't good enough. But I didn't even know, like, why you didn't say something. You see what I'm saying? A divine man would have said something. So, his videos, it feels like it started to hurt my feelings. It started to make me cry. And I'm just like, why do I feel like I'm being psychologically abused by what he's saying? Because his intentions, what he wants to feel, is like he wants to look down on good women who are in situations with bad men. So when I reached out to him, I'm just like, I really like your content, but and I hear what you say about how women should, it's easier said than done to leave. But for individuals who are kind of stuck in situations, can you give more empowering words of encouragement, So I did mean that, but at the same time, I just wanted to let him know that his manifestation worked. God told me that he knew it would be me reaching out to him. So, I mean, after some time, that's when he called me a bitch, because it's like he was observing me and he was like analyzing or evaluating me, and he tried to say I was overstimulated. He tried to call me a bitch. Then he made a music video. Now he's taking his artistry and he's using it as a weapon. That's not a divine man. Okay? A divine man respects the spiritual world. Hold on. He thinks with his heart. He has a love for art. And he respects the spirit world. That is a healthy divine masculine man. So everything that he's showing me is the opposite. Now he's taking his artistry and he's using it as a weapon to come for me. So he tried to talk about my addictions. I smoke a lot of weed. So at this point in time, I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on. I just don't understand what's going on. So finally, we get to a place to where he pulls me in and he uses the magic. He starts doing spell work on me. He starts teaming up with people. He starts doing spell work. So now he's getting my attention. But the thing is that he doesn't understand the individuals that he's dealing with are individuals that took me through some of the same shit that he's taking me through now. Not in this current moment, but at the time to where I'm dealing with him. So a lot of things that he's doing, his energy, I'm seeing it's a lot like the past. But I don't put everything together until he gets closer to me. He then reaches out to me and he emails me, but it's one big plot. It's one big scheme. People are trying to fish me in because they have this plot to try to give me HIV. I don't know. I feel like they were thinking about raping me. But if not, he thought that he was going to seduce me and give me the HIV. Do you understand the type of shit that a divine woman goes through? Because masculinity is terrible. It's barbaric. It's abusive. So that divine woman, she cannot show up in her soft era. She must show up within her masculinity, but it must be healthy because she attracts and deals with a lot of unhealthy masculinity. And a lot of chauvinistic men. You know what I mean? A lot of men with just like a whole bunch of issues. She triggers the fuck out of these men. Men are supposed to be the protectors. But no, she highlights the true nature of the barbarian within masculinity. So she has to be extremely careful. The divine masculine, he triggers those whores. He triggers that Jezebel spirit within bitches. You know what I'm saying? The bitch that try to set you up to get robbed. The bitch that's out here hooking and fucking and sucking and licking and dicking. You understand what I'm saying? It's very challenging for divine beings, especially when it comes to dating. So anyway, so the thing is that me and this guy get past our differences. It's kind of like somebody gives in. I don't know. I think it was me. I think that I just gave in to him because of the love spell. You know what I'm saying? So with me being under the love spell, he's able to see how I really feel, who I would be to him, so now he's falling in love with me. But then on top of that, he was sitting around talking about me. And he was in on the big spot, the big plot, the big scheme. Then he was fucking with a bitch that he was sitting around. They was sitting around talking about me. He just sat around, let her talk about me. And then he joined in with certain shit. I believe that's where the bitch came from. So, I find out, you're sleeping with my enemy. I'm just like, this man is every man in a toxic way that I have dealt with. And I feel like these people have used him because they think that he would be my greatest challenge. For some reason, they thought I wouldn't be able to see him, and they felt like if they were to help him by shielding him with all of this magic, he would be able to get me. And the thing is that the woman that he had was the woman that was putting him up to the shit too. I'm just like, you got a woman, your woman don't fuck with me, she's in your head about me. Then on top of that, you're fucking around on the side, so you're showing me that you're unfaithful. You know what I'm saying? And you're fucking with this bitch that don't like me, that's been talking shit about me. You've been in on the gossip too. This is the type of shit that divine feminines go through. So this is why this woman is not easy. She's never gonna be easy. Her vulnerability is a trap. Because even though she can be transparent, speak her truth, and be vulnerable, that does not mean that you are ever going to get your opportunity to take advantage of her. She will ghost your ass. Her emotions are like that. It gets cut off. God, she's so close to God. And God says, because the thing is that her relationship first is with God. So when it comes to a man, if God cannot stand in that man's vessel because it's so tainted, low vibrational, and corrupt, God cannot be there. So God cannot experience his divine woman in the human form within that type of a vessel. So God says, no, I can't. You will not. You will not experience me in this man. You will experience my other side. You accept my other side, but it is me that you want. She's looking for a God man. You understand what I'm saying? And what the example that I gave you, that is a pattern of a lot of karmic energy. A lot of individuals who are unhealed are very attracted to the divine feminine. It's like they love her and they hate her. And she has dealt with this type of behavior all her life. And as she gets older, with the men in which that she attracts, it's kind of like they go further and further out of their way to try to gaslight her, to try to lie to her, to try to game her, to try to hurt her, to try to bring her down, because she's so strong and sure within herself. And she attracts a lot of very insecure individuals. The closer she is to God, the worse the worst type of traumatized people she attracts. She understands that she can only be with a godly man, and only God will allow it. Okay, so it's kind of like that's the best way in which that I can put it. Just like when it comes to divine masculine, he wants you to show up wholeheartedly. A lot of people can't do that. Even people deep down inside, even people who crave that, when it comes down to it, they still can't do it. They don't want to make themselves that vulnerable because they are unsure. So, I mean, you tell yourself, I would love for somebody to see me. But when somebody can read the fuck out of you and you're not whole and complete within yourself, you're going to be triggered all the time. It's not a good idea. So anyway, when it comes to this guy, I had to get real about my feelings, because at first I'm just like, I can't believe it. He's such an asshole. He's such a jerk. Because I had told him, I was real with him. I was just like, you don't even have to burn me. You don't have to give me HIV. How am I going to take care of you if you do that to me? I would love to take care of you. who you are serves purpose to my purpose and to my life. You are a diamond to me, but I can understand his condition may make him feel like he's not valuable. But it's fucked up because he's my diamond. He's my key. He's the key to my evolution. If he didn't have the HIV, then it's kind of like he probably wouldn't be valuable to me. God would have got rid of his ass a long time ago. And so I had to make it clear. I would love to spend the rest of my life taking care of you and making sure that you live a life to where you're living. You know? If you want to deal with other women, then have your experiences. But you know what you're dealing with, so of course protect yourself. Don't use that as a weapon. Don't hurt other people. It would have been my privilege, my honor, to give him a life of freedom. You know what I'm saying? And not feeling like I wanted to free him in every way. I have a lot of family members I have a lot of family members who have like STDs, permanent STDs. And I've had some who have died from HIV. So I understand what's deeply really going on. As an individual, I can only go off of the individuals that I've dealt with. But with dealing with the pain and sadness of my loved ones, I can't free them in that way. But through this man, that's what I saw. I could free my people through him. The women in my family who have the same thing going on, they would attract great men in their life that would, like, our love would be the catalyst for individuals, who struggle with love when it comes to STDs or HIV. When God told me all that shit, I don't know. I said, oh my God, that is so beautiful. I would love to spend the rest of my life taking care of him and just, making sure that he's happy and helping boost him up and kind of, I don't know. I would have such a chance on a major scale to uplift the community of STDs and HIV. And my thing is that what people don't understand, HIV is on the rise. HIV is on the rise. So I mean, but I mean, it's over. It's over. God won't let me be with him. That's what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't see the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't see the bigger picture. He has not like stepped into his divinity. He's too hurt. You know, and it's kind of like our union could help out with the world about to find out that a lot of people have HIV. So, you know, I mean, I don't, you know, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to expect. You know, but I mean, I've had to let it go because, I mean, I talked to him in the spirit. Because, you know, after I found out about that woman, I'm just like, you have done too much damage already. And we haven't even been together. And I have already experienced what my life in this relationship would be like with being with you. He's a lot like my ex. I just appreciate the fact that I was able to see it before anything really actually happened. You know. Divine Feminine is used to the cruelty to the point to where she has just surrendered. She has just surrendered that human beings are cruel. So instead of being angry about it, she has compassion. But in having compassion, that does not mean she's going to be stupid or feel like, you know, she has to let somebody be cruel to her. She's not going to let anybody be cruel to her. You know, what she's hiding is a very soft person, a very vulnerable person. She's tapped into her inner child. Divine Masculine is tapped into his inner child. While everybody else is cruel. And it's kind of like in being in the traumatized body, the traumatized mindset, the emotional trauma, people can't see who they are. And then it's kind of like when a divine person sheds light on who they really are, they don't want to see it, they run away. That is the fear. You know why animals attack when they know that you're afraid of them? Because if you're afraid of them, they know that you're going to want to hurt them. So before you get them, they get you. When it comes to human beings, you know, people who run off of their animal instinct, they always misunderstand. They want to project their fears onto the divine. But it's not the divine that is in fear, it is them. So I mean, oh man, it felt so good to get that shit out. You know, because that situation had been ongoing for a while. And you know, I'm just like, when is it going to be over? Because I have the truth. I have enough. Because, you know, this man has been trying to be so convincing. Then on top of that, it's like he has tried to get other people involved to help him. He's doing everything except coming to me, showing up for me. And he's trying to figure out how I can see him, even though he's hiding so much. Because real recognize real. And it's like you're looking real fake right now. And one thing that I know is fake. Divine feminine needs somebody who's going to protect her. Protect that softness that she has on the inside. Okay, so this man is not that. You know, the thing is, he has the ability to bring out the softness in a woman. I saw that. But I also know that even though that is his gift to women, that he abuses that gift. So it's not a gift to me. It's a lesson, you know, and it's a bullet to dodge. You see, people, that's why you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention to how people use their artistry. You have to pay attention to the things, how people use their power, how people use their gifts. You know, my thing is that he has great potential. That's another thing. You cannot see somebody for their potential. You must see somebody for who they are. And I think Divine Feminine does that. And it's kind of like people don't want her to do that. It's like, I want you to see my potential. I want you to talk to me from a place of my potential. But that's not where you are at. So that is not the truth. When it comes to divinity, honesty is real big. Love and light. Love and honesty. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up here for today. So until the next time, we'll talk again. Thank you.